This is the story of Eleanor Whitmore. They didn't just laugh at her, they erased her. In a university built on legacy, prestige, and quiet power, Eleanor Whitmore was invisible. Until she became a threat. She arrived with a scholarship, a second-hand laptop, and a dream bigger than the halls of Oxford University. She didn't come from wealth or influence. She came from a small coastal town in Cornwall, where the sea was loud and opportunities were rare. Her father was a fisherman. Her mother worked night shifts at a care home. There were no connections waiting for her at Oxford, just discipline and hope. The first time she walked through those ancient stone corridors, she felt the weight of history pressing in. Students moved with effortless confidence, their voices polished, their laughter controlled. The whispers started early. She doesn't belong. She sounds different. She won't last. She pretended not to hear them, but humiliation has a way of settling quietly in the chest. Then came Victoria Hargrove, elegant, composed, untouchable. Victoria smiled at her, invited her to study sessions, praised her ideas. For the first time, Eleanor felt seen. So she trusted her. She shared her research, a coastal erosion model inspired by her hometown. Months of data, late nights, careful detail, and then, one evening, at a formal departmental dinner, Victoria presented it, word for word. The room applauded. Professors nodded in approval. Eleanor sat frozen in her chair, heart pounding, hands trembling beneath the table. Her work had been taken and delivered in someone else's voice. When she confronted Victoria later, the reply was calm. You should be more careful with your work. By morning, the story had shifted. Eleanor wasn't the victim. She was the copycat. And just like that, she was alone. Group chats fell silent, invitations disappeared, professors grew distant, then came midterms. She rebuilt her project from scratch, alone. Halfway through her presentation, Victoria raised her hand, a polite smile, a sharpened tone. Isn't this underdeveloped? A few students laughed. The professor looked at Eleanor. Can you defend your framework? Her throat tightened, the words she had practiced dissolved, and in that moment, the narrative was sealed. She was the scholarship girl who couldn't keep up. That night, she cried harder than she ever had before. Not delicate tears, but the kind that come when something inside you breaks. And in that breaking, she made a decision. She chose silence, not weakness, strategy. She stopped explaining herself. Stopped trying to be accepted. Instead, she worked quietly. She attended lectures outside her course, volunteered at environmental research centers, built relationships with professors who valued substance over status. She documented everything, protected her ideas, strengthened her voice, and then she entered a national research competition partnered with The Guardian. She told no one. December arrived cold and sharp. Students gathered for the fellowship announcement. Victoria stood confidently among them, certain. The envelope opened.
The winner of the competition is
Eleanor Whitmore. For a moment, no one moved. Then came the shock. Victoria's smile faded. Eleanor stood still. Almost as if she expected the moment to vanish, but it didn't. Her research was funded, published, recognized across the country. The girl they dismissed had just outranked them all. A week later, she stood at the podium in the same hall where she once stumbled. Navy suit, steady hands, calm eyes.
Thank you all for being here tonight. This award celebrates not just my work, but the incredible support from everyone in this room.
I used to think belonging was something you waited to be given. She paused,
But sometimes you build your own table.
You build your own table. The applause was not polite, it was powerful, not because she defeated someone, but because she found herself. Years later, Dr. Eleanor Whitmore stood overlooking the sea that raised her, wind in her hair, research team beside her. The waves crashed against the cliffs below, relentless, unstoppable. They tried to humiliate her, they tried to erase her, but pressure did not break her. It refined her, and sometimes, the greatest comeback is not loud, it is steady. It is strategic.
Esteemed
it is
students,
unstoppable.
today we celebrate not just knowledge,
They
but the wisdom to
underestimated
wield
her
it.
silence.
May it guide
They
your
never
every
saw
endeavor.
her.
For months, Eleanor Whitmore was the girl everyone mocked, the girl they whispered about in hallways, the girl they believed didn't belong, but the quiet student they tried to break became the woman they could no longer ignore.
The girl they underestimated became the one who proved them wrong. And in the end, it wasn't Eleanor who didn't belong. It was their doubts. But the real question is, how many Eleanors are being underestimated every single day?